carried. Almost every advanced thing humanity has built in the last decade, your phone, the artificial intelligence everyone's talking about, the guidance inside a modern weapon, runs on a chip. And the most advanced of those chips are made in essentially one place, a single island, about 100 miles off the coast of a country that says it owns it. This is the most dangerous concentration of value on the planet, and most people have no idea it exists. Chips are the brains of the modern world, and making the best ones is the hardest thing human beings have ever learned to manufacture. Taiwan does it better than anyone. The island produces around 92% of the world's most advanced logic chips. One company there, TSMC, makes roughly 70% of all the chips built for other companies, and well over 90% of the true cutting-edge, the 3 and 2 nanometer chips inside the latest phones and every top-end AI processor. When people say the cloud or artificial intelligence, what they really mean is silicon etched in a handful of buildings on Taiwan's west coast. And here's what makes it a real choke point: it's stacked lock upon lock. Those fabs cluster in a couple of science parks, the entire supply chain within a few hours' drive on a seismically active, militarily contested island. But there's a second lock sitting above the first. To make any leading-edge chip, you need a machine called an EUV scanner, and those are built by exactly one company on Earth, ASML, in the Netherlands. One island makes the chips. One Dutch company makes the only machine that can. Every NVIDIA AI processor the world is currently fighting over is manufactured in Taiwan. There is no second source anywhere, so who wants it and what's the friction? China claims Taiwan as its own territory, and it has spent the last few years openly rehearsing for a takeover, sending warships and aircraft to encircle the island and simulating blockades of its key ports. At the end of 2025, it ran one of its largest drills yet. Meanwhile, the United States is pouring tens of billions into copying the recipe, building TSMC fabs in Arizona. But the crown jewels, the most advanced production, are still on the island because you cannot simply relocate this. It took Taiwan 40 years and a whole ecosystem to build, so what happens if it stops? This is where the numbers stop sounding real. Bloomberg Economics estimates that a war over Taiwan would erase around $10 trillion, about 10% of global GDP in the first year alone. Bigger than the pandemic, the 2008 financial crisis, and the war in Ukraine combined. And it wouldn't even take an invasion. A simple blockade could wipe out roughly $5 trillion. Because if those fabs go dark, there is no replacement for years. Carried in almost every advanced product on Earth stops coming off the line all at once. So step back and look at what we've done. We took the engine of the entire modern economy, the chips inside everything, and we concentrated its production onto one island, carried in the most contested waters on the planet. The most valuable real estate in the world isn't a financial district or an oil field. It's a few factory buildings on a contested island, and the whole modern world is balanced on top of them. And it isn't just gadgets at stake. The same advanced chips run the data centers training every major AI model, the guidance systems inside modern weapons, and the networks that move money around the world. Whoever controls their supply has a hand on the throat of the next decade of technology. That's why a war or blockade over Taiwan wouldn't be a regional crisis, it would be a global off-switch. Picture it: the fabs fall silent. The world's stock of advanced chips drains within months, and there is nothing to replace them, because the knowledge, the machines, and the trained workforce all sit on that one island. The United States is spending tens of billions building fabs in Arizona, and that helps, but the leading edge, the newest and smallest chips, is still made almost entirely in Taiwan and will be for years to come. You cannot copy 4 decades of accumulated expertise with a checkbook overnight. So the world quietly holds its breath every time Beijing sends another fleet of warships circling the coast. Because everyone now understands that the most important factory on Earth has no backup, and it sits within sight of the one country most determined to take it. This is single point of failure. If this changed how you see the map, subscribe. There are 100 more of these.